Hello friends, my name is Shayla and today I'm here to do a book haul for you. I'm sitting on the floor, so my shelves look a little different. And sorry, my voice is kind of going. I'm kind of either starting up something new sick or getting over something sick, or my allergies are going to town today because the weather in Utah can't make up its mind. So today's a book haul. It's been months since I've done a book haul. I have slowed down my book buying a little bit, but today's stacks, I know it's not everything since my last haul, but it's like 90% of it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys what I've got here, and if you have questions, we're gonna kind of blitz through these because there are so many. So if you have questions, ask me down below. I'd be happy to answer your questions. So the book that's closest to me is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This particular, let me readjust my bottom here. This is the second book in the Six of Crows duology. I have read this one. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I ended up giving this book 4.5 stars. I thought this series was engaging and great, and I do highly recommend checking out this series. I would recommend completing the Grisha trilogy before you read this entire series. I mean, you can read like the first book and get context of the world and you're okay. But I do think it's more enjoyable if you've known everything, because this does contain spoilers for the Grisha trilogy. So as long as you don't mind being spoiled, you should be okay. Next up is Home by Eleni McKnight. I received this in December from the author in exchange for an honest review. I do have that review posted, and I will leave a link to that down below so you can get more information on this book. Next up is Legacy of Kings by Eleanor Herman. I heard a lot about this initially, but then I didn't hear much about it after that. And as I've read the description, it just makes me really happy and really excited. So I'm excited to dig into this one hopefully soon so that I can give it a good read and let you guys know my thoughts. Next in my stack is Ash and Bramble by Sarah Prineas? I'm not sure how you say her last name, but this is another fairy tale retelling. I believe this one is another Cinderella retelling. These were really popular for a little while. This one's a little bit older, but I haven't made it to it yet. And it was on sale, and I thought, why not? So pick it up, and I'll hopefully get it read soon so I can let you guys know my thoughts on the series. Next up is a BookTube favorite, and that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I have not read this series yet. I do have the first book in the series now, so I do plan on reading this. All the people who have really enjoyed it are people that we seem to have similar book tastes, so I really think I'll end up enjoying this series quite a bit. Next up is The Blue Moon Narthex by N.J. Donner. This is the first book in the Carmanic Sovereign Legion series, or the KSL series, and I do have a full review on this one. It's spoiler free, so I will leave that linked down below as well if you want more information. Next up is Seven Black Diamonds by Melissa Marr. I believe this is a Peter Pan retelling from Tiger Lily's perspective, if I remember the description correctly. And I've heard really good things about this book. It's not one that's super talked about, but the people who have talked about it have really enjoyed it. So I plan on reading this hopefully soon so that I can get it in. And again, let you guys know what I think, because that's what I do on this channel. Next up is Endure by Sarah B. Larson. This is the third book in the Defy trilogy. I completed my trilogy. I have read this. I didn't love this last book. I felt like the characters were making silly decisions. Anyways, I will leave the wrap-up where my full thoughts on this one are. I believe it's my December wrap-up from last year. But yeah, it was an okay book. It wasn't my favorite conclusion. The first two books in the series I really enjoyed. This one, not so much. Next up is Crystal Storm by Morgan Rhodes. This is the fifth book in the Falling Kingdom series. I have only read the first two books in this series so far. I got this on a great deal, so I ended up picking up book number 5. I plan on reading 3, 4, and 5 this year in preparation for the final book that comes out this year. Next up is Daughter of Dusk by Olivia Blackburn. This is book 2 in the Midnight Thief series, and I am excited to continue going on in this series. It took me a minute to get into the first book, but once I got into it, I really enjoyed it, and I'm super excited for this second book in the series. Next up is Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch, and this is actually, what's his name? Richard Paul Evans? Yeah, Richard Paul Evans. This is his daughter's first debut novel. I've heard really cute things about this little novel, so I'm really excited to give it a read. As you guys know, I'm trying to read more nonfiction this year, so I did pick up a memoir recently, and that one is Phil Collins' Not Dead Yet. Phil Collins is a musician, for those of you who aren't familiar with who he is, and I just really enjoy everything he's brought to the music industry, and him as a person. He seems very interesting to me. So I really wanted to give this book a read and learn more about him. I may have mentioned this one in a haul, but I don't remember, so I'm mentioning it again. And that is Stealing Snow by Danielle Page. This is a Snow Queen retelling, and I've not read her Dorothy Must Die series, but I am looking forward to this Snow Queen retelling. I've heard good things. Next up is A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman. I have not read any Frederick Bachman yet. Everybody says this is a great one to start with, and so that's where I'm starting. Next is A Gathering of Shadows by B.E. Schwab. This is the second book in the Darker Shade of Magic series. The third book comes out here shortly, if it's not already out. I think it comes out later this month. It might even be in a couple days. I don't remember. But I really enjoyed the first book. I really want to read the second book, so I've picked it up and I plan on reading it soon. Next up is another book that falls into that nonfiction category of mine, and that is Designing Your Life, How to Build a Well-Lived, Joyful Life by Bill Burnett and Dave Evans. These two are graphic designers, and they've taken their formulas for graphic designing and put it in a model to help you design your life in a way that makes you happy, and I figured this can just help me find the balance between home life and my business life, and I think it'll really help me out that way. Next up is a beast of a book, and that is The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington? I don't know how you say his last name. Either way, all I know is Brandon Sanderson has recommended this book to people who are waiting for him to bring out more in his Stormlight archive, so I am all over that. It is a beast and a honker, but I plan on reading it hopefully soon so I can get you guys some info on it. Next up is Gardens of the Moon by Steven Erikson. This is a book my husband got me for Christmas. He only got me one book this year, and this is the one he got me. It's the first book in a long series, and I am looking forward to digging into this soon because I've heard good things about the series in general. It's very well acclaimed, so I do plan on reading this one soon. Next up is the Tales of Shikanoko 2, Autumn Princess Dragon Child by Leanne Hearn. I read the first book in this series last year and I ended up enjoying it, so I've picked up the second book and I'm planning on continuing on hopefully again soon. Okay guys, we're getting there. I've got 3 books left in this stack and we'll just cut it off there. So I've picked up Siege and Storm, which is book 2 in the Grisha trilogy. I do want to finish out the series. I've only read book 1. I need to read book 2 and book 3. I do enjoy the world and the characters within it, so I am excited to continue on. Next up is Behind Broken Glass Walls by N.M. Erunis, is what I want to say. And this is a book that I received in my Literary Vacation Club box. I will leave a link to their boxes down below. I am a rep for this company and have been for almost 6 months now, and I love the books that I've been getting, and all the ones I've read I've really enjoyed. So I do recommend checking out the box. These are all indie authors, so they are not mainstream. These aren't ones you hear about often, but I have enjoyed every single read so far, so go check it out. And last but not least is a Christmas present I received from a client this year, and that is Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. And this is just before Harper Lee passed away, so it was really precious to receive this, and I do need to read this one soon, but I do want to reread To Kill a Mockingbird first, because it's been since school since I've read that one, and that's been a long time ago. So I plan on hopefully getting to this in the near future, but we'll see how things go. Okay guys, so that is my most recent haul. I'm sure things are missing in it. Oh, I just thought of one more thing, but I'm not going to go get up to get it. I'll just insert it here. And that is Roseblood by A.G. Howard. It is actually my current read. This is a Phantom of the Opera inspired retelling, and I'm only like a chapter or 2 in at this point, but I'm really enjoying what I'm reading so far. And I've not read any other A.G. Howard works. I do have Splintered on my shelf, and I plan on reading that soon as well. So I am really excited to get into A.G. Howard's writing, and so far I'm really liking it. And it's really cool. The text is actually read in Roseblood, and that just gave it this little unique spin and this special feel to the book. So again, it's one I'm excited about. So guys, this is a lot of books, and as you guys know, I've been trying to cut back on my book buying And so I used to do this in a month, guys. I'm really doing pretty good, and I'm very proud of myself for that. So if you guys have read any of these or want to read any of them soon, let me know in the comments down below, and we'll set up a buddy read. Have an awesome day, guys. Bye.